I'm Matt Andrews. I'm the host of Rainbow Six Siege all over the world. I stage host it, I desk host it, and I also do behind the scenes vlogs of how we do these events and interviews with players and so on like that. But mostly I'm the loud guy who introduces teams and talks to them after they win. Yeah, it's exhausting stuff. It's a very relentless day. First day of these playoffs yesterday, from leaving my hotel to getting back there, was an 18-hour day, and I get the moments on stage where, I have to get the audience's attention and bring out players, and then when a game is finished, then I need to have watched that game in order to be able to interview the players about what they did. How did you lose that first map? Those kind of stories. In between that, and whenever I can, before a day has begun or afterwards, I have a very good relationship with a lot of the pro players, and they know I will treat them fairly when we're on stage, so they trust me to also be able to vlog about them. And I've had some very good sort of in-depth interviews with like cameraman immediately after last Pro League finals in Rio when they lost quite dramatically to G2. He was the one. I could see FaZe were hanging around, feeling a bit sad. I will never make anybody do an interview that, is a bad time for them, but I asked him, he was happy to do it. That's when he said FaZe had screwed up the map picks, they didn't know the system, they'd prepared for it in the wrong way, and the whole tournament came down for them because of that bit of prep, and that's how we broke that news, really. So, yeah, I'm very grateful that the players trust me, that I'm looking to make them look good. That's what I am trying to do. And then I have a lot of people who see what I do, and I work on other games as well, and they want to work in esports. And as it grows, there's so many things you can do in esports, not necessarily in front of a camera, but if you want to be in front of a camera, okay, how do you do that? How do you get there? But if you want to work in production, or if you want to work for a publisher, or in community management, or whatever, I try and make videos on my channel to show you that world of it, because as a TV presenter and a gamer, although I've got all that experience, when I looked into trying to work in esports, it wasn't easy to see what esports does. So I try and fill that gap. Biggest moment so far in Rainbow Six Siege has got to be the big turnaround in last year's final when EG went from a 2-0 leading position in a best-of-5 to losing it in overtime on the 5th map to G2, who were Penta then. As a dramatic turnaround, you can't ask for anything more than that. As big a lead as you want, and then losing that in overtime at the last possible moment. And all the players involved are such characters, and I know them. We could share that moment in a very passionate way, and as a fan as well as a friend to them, they took me on that ride, like they took all of our audience on that ride. So I think that's my biggest kind of gaming moment, but a very different one. Last Pro League finals in Rio. I'm on the analyst desk. We are in a 10,000-seater Olympic stadium. The desk is towards the back of the audience, but it's surrounded by audience. We're on a platform about this high, sort of, here on me, and then we're on top of that with the analyst desk. I've never had this before. I'm talking to a camera. I'm literally live on stream presenting the show, and someone is pulling on my trousers down here to get my attention because they want me to sign something, and I can't look at them and say anything to them because I'm talking to your camera. Yeah, I've never had anybody do that before, and that's an amazing experience. Anybody wants to say hi, I love that, but not right now. I think the worst side of it is a couple of days afterwards. Firstly, because it's now gone very quiet. It's done. Like the day after is like, where'd everybody go? Oh, it's over now. We've been looking forward to this for months. Done. So there's that coupled with basically total exhaustion. Because these are super long days. Yesterday was an 18-hour day from leaving the hotel to get back there at well past midnight. These are very demanding days. We eat when we can. We're on the go all the time. There's very little kind of timings you can rely on because a match, if it's a best of 3, there's a big difference when that finishes. If it's a best of 5, the difference between a 3-0 and a 3-2 or an overtime, those are hours different. So planning when you can eat, when you can look after yourself, those kind of things, it all goes a bit out the window, and we just ride with it, and that's the show. But as a live presenter, that's what I love doing. It's a live show. It's got to be live. I'd rather do live things than recorded things any day. So we do all that. So we give it everything we've got. A couple of days afterwards, I'm a bit of an exhausted wreck when I get back home to my family. Wow, that's a really good question. I don't know. Because I kind of get to ask players questions when I want to ask players questions. I would ask brand director Alexander Remy when I'm going to get an announcer pack. or a Pulse skin, because everybody wants one and everybody asks me about it. So can we please have one of those, and then I can tell people? It's not going to happen, but I would love it to.